So you're thinking about moving to Kailua, but you're not sure which micro neighborhood you actually want to live in Kailua because there's a lot of them. So in this video, we're going to cover my 7 favorite neighborhoods specifically here in Kailua. So stick around to get all the details. See you on the other side. All right, guys, like I mentioned, in this video, we're actually going to cover the 7 best neighborhoods, in my personal opinion, specifically in Kailua. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to move to Kailua, but what part of Kailua? Because there's lots of micro neighborhoods, and we're gonna break down some of the pros and cons of each neighborhood, price points, and everything you wanna know. Now, before we jump into that, let me quickly introduce myself if this is your first time here. My name is Patrick Longley. I'm a licensed real estate agent out here in Hawaii and have been for nearly a decade, helping buyers, sellers, and investors with their real estate needs. Now, let's jump into the 7 best neighborhoods, specifically here in Kailua. Now, the first neighborhood we're gonna go over is Lanikai. Now, Lanikai is actually the neighborhood I live in, so that's of course my #1 choice, but there's a good reason for that. The neighborhood itself offers one of the most beautiful beaches in the world, Lanikai Beach. It's been ranked top 10 most beautiful beaches in the world, and for good reason. When you actually go there, you'll be welcomed by crystal clear blue waters. You've got the Mokulua Islands, which actually frame your view when you're standing on these beautiful beaches with these baby powder-like sand. And it also is a small beach, so keep in mind it does sometimes get a little crowded, but it is something you definitely want to experience if you're moving to Kailua or just coming to Hawaii. Now, Lanikai itself, I've actually made a video going over all the pros and cons. Make sure you check it out right here, where we'll walk through the neighborhood, but I'll briefly summarize some of the things you want to be aware of. Some things you want to be aware of is that it's a small neighborhood. It's basically a 3-mile loop, one way in, one way out, and you've got multiple different types of homes. You've got homes that are right on the beach. They can cost you anywhere from $6 to $20 million. Some homes that are up in the hillside where you can get some stunning views, and then some in the middle of the neighborhood, which we call the flats, where you have easy access to the beach, but you may not have the view, but maybe not the price points of being right on the beach. So there are some pros and cons of the 3 different areas, which would be beachside, hillside, or flats. But again, check out that video where I kind of briefly go over all those different areas. Lanikai also is a very tight-knit community because it's such a small area. Pretty much everybody knows everybody, and you also have lots of activities you can participate in, whether it's just going to the beach that we mentioned earlier before, paddling out to the Mokulua Islands, which sometimes has a little bit of surf, which I always like to enjoy, and you also can enjoy one of the beautiful hikes, the Pillbox hike, which is a pretty easy hike, and you get some absolutely stunning views, as you can see here. Now, with all those beautiful opportunities, there are some cons to this neighborhood. Some of those cons would be parking. If you're looking to, have street parking, whether it's for your property or whether you're just going to the beach, it can be a little tight. There's not that much parking in the area, especially because it is one of the most popular beaches. So you see a lot of tourists and people who want to enjoy the beach actually take up a lot of that street parking. So if you own a property there, just know that that comes with the territory. And additionally, it's one of the most expensive places to live in Oahu. Prices of homes in Lanikai can range anywhere from $2 million all the way up to $23 million. Now, the average days on market right now is about 30 to 60 days if you're looking to purchase a property out here. So they're not flying off the shelves, but they're not sitting for too long, as it is a very desirable area. Now, the second neighborhood we will go over is Norfolk. And there's a lot of people who even live here in Kailua who are not even aware of this area. It's tucked away just outside of Enchanted Lakes on the other side of the highway. And it's got beautiful, beautiful, huge lots and mansions that are basically tucked away into the hillside. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, if you are looking to get some privacy and be away from the craziness of Kailua Town, this is a great option for you. And if you're looking for lots of land, also a great option for you because they've got places that are 10,000 square feet all the way up to a couple acres. So you can definitely find space tucked away in the Norfolk area. Now, things to keep in mind when it comes to Norfolk is if you're close to the highway, you will get a little bit of highway noise. So it's always best if you can be a little bit further and closer to the mountain. And also there is some convenience because the highway is right there. You can sneak onto it, get to the poly, or shoot over to Waimanalo or to the golf course that's right there. So there is some convenience not being stuck right in Kailua Town because there can tend to be a little bit of traffic. You're actually tucked away and very close to the poly. So you can get to the hospital, you can get to town, you can shoot over to Waimanalo. There's a lot of convenience with that. Now, Norfolk is, once again, although it has large lots, there isn't a ton of inventory that comes up. So when it does come up, it sells reasonably quickly, even with the price point that it has. Now, if you are looking to purchase a property out here, the starting point is usually about $3 million and can continue to go up and up and up. And those $3 million plus properties are selling in 15 to 30 days right now in the 2023 market. So again, they don't come up very often. And when they do, they usually get snatched up pretty quick. Now, my third favorite neighborhood is Maunawili. Now, Maunawili is its own beast in itself. It's absolutely completely different than what you would expect when you're moving to Kailua. Usually when you think Kailua, you think beach town, hustle and bustle, not too much greenery and mountains, but that's exactly what Maunawili offers. Maunawili, similar to Norfolk, is tucked next to the mountains. It's actually tucked away and next to Three Peaks, which you may be familiar with if you actually hike. Three Peaks is a very, very popular hike out here. It's very dangerous, so make sure that you do your due diligence and that you actually know how to hike, because there has been a lot of accidents of people actually falling and dying. So just keep that in mind if you are looking to hike Three Peaks. It also houses a beautiful, they call it the Jurassic Park golf course. Once again, I'm a big golfer, so I'm always gonna bring that stuff up. The Royal Hawaiian. It's got some stunning, stunning views and one of the most beautiful golf courses I've ever played. But with that being said, the neighborhood itself is really tucked away where it's actually surrounded by greenery and mountains. You've got the Three Peaks as sometimes your view. You also have easy access to the Pali, which it shoots right off. And it also offers some beautiful hikes, which sometimes you can go to, sometimes you can't. It's also very close to the highway, similar to Norfolk, so you can shoot up over to the Pali to town. Once again, you're very close to the castle's hospital, and you are surrounded by absolute beauty. Now, living near the mountainside, you get some stunning views, but you also get collection of rain. So with lots of rain, you get tons of greenery, but you also get sometimes mold. So something to keep in mind if you're living in the Maunawili area, if mold is a big issue or something that you don't really want to combat, that is something that you may be welcomed with in Maunawili. Now, Maunawili is a beautiful neighborhood for families, as if you're driving through there, not only are you being welcomed by all this greenery, but you also see tons of kids riding their bikes, cruising around with their family. It's a very, very much a family-friendly oriented neighborhood, and one of my favorites. Now, if you're looking to purchase a property out in Maunawili right now in 2023, you're looking at prices anywhere between 1.3 and about $2.5 million. And once again, because not a lot of properties actually show up very often, because people like to live there and they don't really like to leave, we see these properties sell reasonably quick. Generally, the average days on market right now is between 15 and 25 days. Now, my fourth favorite neighborhood in Kailua is going to be Hillcrest. Hillcrest is somewhat of a newer neighborhood to old Kailua. Kailua itself, like a lot of the neighborhoods, were built in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. But in Hillcrest, you'll actually get not only properties that are up on a hill, hence Hillcrest with beautiful views of Enchanted Lake, but you'll also get homes that are structured a little bit newer. And when I mean newer, I mean like 70s, 80s, and 90s. So the construction types are a little bit different, a little bit more mainland style, and once again, you do get stunning views. With that being said, because you're on a hill, you'll see a lot of the homes that are built on stilts. If you can find a place that's got solid foundation, that's a plus, but a lot of the properties up there, because they're on hills, are built on stilts, and more importantly, sometimes there'll be 2 or 3 stories, and a lot of the properties will be split up in multiple floors, so you have lots of stairs to climb. So if you're not a big stairs kind of person, Hillcrest might not be the area for you, but if you like stunning views and you're okay with a little bit of stairs, it's a great option for you. Now, if you're looking to buy a home out here in Hillcrest, you're looking at anywhere between 1.4 and about 2.2, $2.3 million. Again, it can go higher than that, but I would say that's about the average. And the average days on market for Hillcrest is about 35 days. Now, the next neighborhood we're gonna go over, and probably the quintessential of Kailua, of what people think when they think of Kailua, is Kailua Beachside. And the name in itself kind of gives you an idea of where it's located. Kailua Beachside is basically the strip of Kailua Beach where all those beautiful homes are. Now, if you're in Kailua Beachside, you're not particularly on the beach, but you're pretty darn close. There's of course homes that are gonna be right on the beach and some that are just a couple properties off, but basically any properties to the right or to the Makai side of Kalaheo Avenue are going to be Kailua Beachside. Now, Kailua Beachside has lots of pros, of course. You are right next to one of the most beautiful beaches in the world, Kailua Beach. You also sometimes are offered huge, big lots, and that's for Hawaii, so generally anywhere from 10,000 to 25,000 square feet and plus. A lot of the neighborhoods actually have private roads, so a lot of people you won't even actually see going down that road that don't live in that neighborhood, so it does create a sense of privacy. Some of these neighborhoods will actually have their own private beach access, which is a whole thing that people may or may not be happy with, but a lot of these neighborhoods do have private beach access. And if you are living on the beach, which may seem amazing, just keep in mind that your home may take a little bit more wear and tear because you're getting fresh salt water directly from the ocean, directly to your house, where you'll get a little bit more rust going on, and definitely a lot more maintenance on the property as you are living directly next to the beach. Now, if you're looking to buy a property right on Kailua Beachside, I would say the lowest you could find is about 3 million, and it would go upwards of 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 million plus if you want to live in the Kailua Beachside neighborhood. Now, the next neighborhood we're gonna go over is Coconut Grove. Now, if you want to get a deep dive of Coconut Grove, I've actually made a video right here which you can check out. And Coconut Grove really is the last piece of Kailua that actually has quote unquote affordable housing. It's definitely regentrifying, and there's definitely seen old Hawaii kind of turn into new Hawaii, where a lot of developers are coming in, seeing homes, or investors. taking down that sugar shack and building a new home, and it's definitely increasing the value of that neighborhood. Now, Coconut Grove itself offers a couple different apartment complexes as well as single family homes, and you're really only a couple blocks, like a bike ride away from Kailua Beach, maybe 10-15 minutes, and you're tucked away just next to the Kawanui Marsh. Now, this is probably the only area where you can find single family homes under $1 million, so you'll probably find homes in the high nines upwards to $2.5 million. And the last neighborhood we're gonna go over is Enchanted Lake. Now, I always say Enchanted Lakes because it just sounds better, but it is actually Enchanted Lake. You actually have a man-made lake that was created there, and it's surrounded by some beautiful homes. Now, some of the pros of Enchanted Lake is that you are, once again, just outside of the craziness of Kailua Town, but you do have a lot of the amenities that you need. There's a Safeway, there's a strip mall with a couple different restaurants, a Starbucks, you also have a movie theater that's right there, but you're just outside of Kailua Town, but not too far if you want to go actually into town. Now, once again, similar to Coconut Grove, you're probably about a 10-15 minute bike ride to Kailua Beach, depending on what part of Enchanted Lake you're in. And you'll see a lot of the properties in Enchanted Lakes are actually pretty nice. You'll see that some of them will be right on the water, right on that man-made lake, and some that are tucked away in the neighborhood. So as you can see on this map, you've got this kind of river or estuary that goes through. It connects to Enchanted Lake, and you've got homes that are right on the water and some that are just off it. But it's a great neighborhood to be just outside of Kailua Town, and a great opportunity for any families that are looking to have that family-oriented neighborhood. All right, guys, well, that pretty much wraps up the 7 best neighborhoods, in my opinion, out here in Kailua. Now, if you guys could do me a huge favor, if you guys got any value out of this content, if you guys could smash that like button as well as click the subscribe and notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop videos just like this. And if you guys have any questions or you want to learn more about Kailua or Oahu or any real estate questions you have, by all means, reach out to me. I got my contact information right here, or you can directly DM me on any of my social media platforms. With that being said, I'm Patrick with PatrickLonelyRealty.com, powered by eXp Realty. Hope you have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.